Good morning, everyone. This is Karen Whooley, and welcome to this week's Team Whooleygan live chat. I can't believe we're halfway through September. It's September 15th. And before we get started, I just wanted to remind you of a few things. If you want to learn more about me, especially if this is your first time watching, you can go to my website at karenwhooley.com. The link's there below. And you can find out everything there is to know about me and what I do and what I teach and what I sell and all the things. So while you're there, also make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. My newsletter subscribers get 25% off all new pattern releases. They also get discounts on new books, new classes. They're the first to know about just about everything. So it's really great to subscribe to my newsletter. If you want to go directly to the subscribe form, you can use the link right there below. If you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link's right there below. I live stream every Wednesday on YouTube, and this will notify you of when I go live, as well as letting you know if I upload any new videos that are static videos. So make sure you check that out. And if you haven't already, if you're watching this right now, either live or after the fact, make sure you hit the thumbs up button because that helps with the algorithm for more crocheters to see me. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And every time you watch one of my videos, I would really appreciate it if you did that. After I finish my lives, I immediately upload these videos to my Rumble channel. If you're not a YouTube user, you probably found me on Rumble. If you're not a Rumble user, this is the link to my Rumble channel. Rumble has now surpassed the number of viewers that I have here on YouTube. So it might be worth checking out a little bit as well. So I always upload these lives to Rumble. So make sure you check that out as well. You can follow me on Instagram. This is my Instagram handle at Karen Whooley, no spaces in my name. I'm starting to get a little more active there. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but Instagram is probably the place I am off on the most. You can also follow me on Facebook, and you might be watching me live right now on Facebook. I simultaneously stream to YouTube as well as Facebook. So check out my Facebook page. Make sure you like it. I'm getting a little more active there as far as posting to my Facebook page. So make sure you check that out as well. So I'm going to head over to the comments and see how you guys are doing in the chat room. Just here. Kelly came in and said good morning to me earlier as I was getting things set up. So good morning, Kelly. I know you saw my post probably, but I wanted to say hello. Let's see, who else do I have here? I have Linda and Daisy May from Under the Bed. Good morning. I'm glad you guys are both here. I'm glad you have internet, Linda, so awesome. I have Stephanie in Texas. Good morning. I'm glad you're here too. And Pat is here. Good morning. And Laura, good morning, Laura. I'm glad you're here. As well as everyone else. I hope it's a great day. And Renee's here as well. Good morning. I'm glad you guys are all here. So let's talk about getting active on Instagram. I promised last week and in my newsletters and stuff that I was going to get a little more active on Instagram, but I am finding that this getting over the tired from the wedding planning and then the actual wedding is kicking my butt right now. I didn't realize how exhausting that was. So I haven't been doing a whole lot on Instagram. Normally I try to get on there once a day with a video, and I haven't done it yet since the wedding's been over. So hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll start feeling like actually chatting other than doing my weekly live streams. So yeah, it's been interesting, guys. I don't know if it's partially the cancer treatments that I'm still trying to shake off the tired from that's causing it, or if it's just the stress finally leaving my body from planning and pulling off a wedding. So it's been kind of interesting there that way. So Hopefully in the next week or so, I'll start getting a little more active on Instagram again. I did want to share one thing really quick with you guys, and I can't remember if I shared this last week or not, so I'm going to share it again. I added a new page to my website. If you have been purchasing any of my patterns recently, you've seen on the pattern themselves, I usually have a link now that's to help for that video or for that pattern. Sorry. A lot of times it is video. There's been patterns that have come up the pike lately that I've needed to add a little help, like it's a laddie point. I'm doing the crochet along right now. I have a page for that and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you really quick. Hopefully you guys can see this. Oops, I'm going to switch it this way. So I have a new help page, and I'm going to go over there so that you guys can see. So to find it, you go under resources here and click on pattern help pages. And I'll talk about groups here in just a second, but I want to talk about pattern help pages. If you click on that, you get to this page. And this page right here shows you all the patterns that have help videos or information and things like that. And currently they're listed by pattern code. So like Modern Metro is code 49, and then I have 56 and 60, 63. That's a laddie point, the one we're doing the crochet along right now for. That's that page. So I'm going to show you that link really fast. But if you click here on the words, click here, it will bring you to, hang on here a second. It'll bring you to the help page. So in this help page for this particular pattern, I actually have a link to Utsalati Bay and Point, which will tell you why it, the name, where the name came from. So you can click on that if you wanted to learn what Utsalati Point is. And then I have a video here on my favorite way to change colors. And I have another video on learning the foundation double crochet. And what I've done with both of these videos, just so you know, I'm not going to start them because that'll interrupt what I'm talking about. But I have done closed captioning for those who have hearing loss or have trouble hearing videos. At least they can read along. So all of my videos going forward that are how-to kinds of things are going to have closed captioning on them. So just so you guys know, there's going to be me talking, but there'll be words always scrolling at the bottom as well. So I just wanted to show you that because that's kind of a new thing. I wanted to make sure they were all in one place so people could find them easily if they forget about the link that's on the page, on the patterns. If you went directly to the link on the pattern for Utsalati Point, for example, it would automatically bring you to the page I just showed you. But I have several patterns right now that have help pages. So if you are looking for help for any of these patterns so far, go ahead and click on those click here's and check out my videos for those, or any, some of them, I think, if I remember correctly, I might have written word in some of these too. No, maybe these are all videos at this point. Okay. Anyway, so I want to talk about groups here for a second because I know that you guys saw that. Groups are something new that's going to be happening. I'll be doing more with that after the crochet along is over. But right now, I only have one group, and it's a private group called Utsalati Point Crochet Along. For everyone who registered for the crochet along, this is the group where we're doing chats in between Zoom calls. And you can post photos and of your progress of your yarn. You can ask me questions there, that kind of thing in between. And I also put in reminders about the Zoom calls. But later on, I'm going to be, hopefully I'll be either in the next couple weeks or at least after the crochet along is over on October 4th, I will be creating more groups because I'm going to be moving to a new server shortly. Hopefully, I'm actually thinking I might try to do it in the next couple days because my site is crawling right now. I'll talk about that in a second too. And we'll add some groups so that instead of having a Ravelry group, which I can't use anymore because I get migraines just looking at the site, and having the Ravelry groups or Facebook groups, I'm having everything self-contained on my website. So everybody will be able to join the groups that are public groups, so that you can learn about each other, or we can talk about different patterns. I can have groups for patterns, specific patterns. If we do that, whenever I do a crochet along, I'll create a group. And then, like, for example, with this Utzalati Point crochet along, I will keep the group active for those people who are members, so that if they ever want to go back to anything in there, they can. There may be a point, maybe a year or two down the road, I might delete those groups because they're not active, or because I need to free up some space or something like that. But I'll let everybody in that group know that it's going to be going away and when it's going to be going away, so that they can download anything or take screenshots or whatever in the future. So just so you guys know, that's what groups are. It's going to be pretty much a thread-driven kind of thing, where someone can post a question. I can go in there just really quick and just show you. So even though some of you may not be part of the crochet along, I'll just show you what it looks like really fast. So there's always a header, and I'm the organizer, so mine's going to say, and there's 14 members, but right here is where the chat is. So you can see, I posted something and people are responding to me underneath. It shows when somebody joins the group. Again, here's something I posted. Nobody's asking questions quite yet, so it's going to be me as a starting poster, but you can always share something with the group here. So, and then you can add photos, and there's albums and things like that, and you can see all the members and stuff like that. So I just wanted to show you guys that because that's kind of new, and I'll be talking about more later on. But in the meantime, I just thought I'd show you. Let's see. I've got some topics here. Laura says, probably yes, all of it. I say, get a glass of milk, chocolate chip cookies, and binge watch show on TV. Just that. I've been doing that. My husband and I are actually watching Call the Midwife. We're binge watching. We're in season 4 right now. Almost done with season 4, actually. So we're kind of binge watching that. I'm not drinking milk and chocolate chip cookies, but I am crocheting while I'm doing that. So I usually, when I'm binge watching something, I crochet, because that keeps me from eating, because I will eat. And when I crochet, I don't eat. I'll drink water, I'll drink coffee, but I will not eat because I don't want to accidentally get something on what I'm working on. So actually, that's been a big help with me trying to lose some weight and get healthy. So yeah, but binge watching is a big thing. Let's see, before the wedding, you were running on adrenaline. Now excitement's done. You don't need the adrenaline. Yes. Yeah. Actually, so you guys know, next Tuesday, so the day before our next live, I'll be going in to the doctor that morning and having my next scope to make sure I'm still tumor free, and find out when my next set of treatments are going to be. So if you are willing to say some prayers for me, that I am tumor free, or send me good vibes, whatever you want to do, I would really appreciate it. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I haven't had any symptoms or anything of tumors, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily. So every time I go in for these scopes, I kind of get a little nervous, but I know you guys are out there rooting for me. So I'll let you know next week what the results are, because I'll know I'll be able to see on the screen when they do the scope what's going on, and she'll talk to me about it. If everything goes well, I'll start treatments, my 3 weeks of treatments in October, I believe. I think it's like October 14th or something is the mark. But anyway, so just so you guys know, Renee says that's a great resource. I'm assuming you're talking about my pattern help pages. Yes, I wanted to make sure it was a really great resource for you. At first, I was thinking it should only be the people who are buying the patterns that get to see all this stuff. But I'm thinking that in the long run, it might be better for everybody to be able to see these, because maybe they're on the fence about buying a pattern, and they'll be able to see some of the help they'll get. But you guys all know that I am the the designer that is willing to help no matter what. So even if those videos don't help you, I hope that you know that you can contact me and we can work things out if we need to. So just, but I wanted to make sure people know that there's that stuff out there, and I'll be announcing it in my newsletter that's coming out this Friday. So be watching for my newsletter if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. What else do I have here? Did I send out the Zoom replay? Obviously you haven't been in the group. Linda, with all the camera issues I had, it was for those of you who are not part of the Crochet Along, just to give you a little context on what I'm about to say is I have a genetic hearing loss. And I had got a new set of hearing aids a couple months ago. I can't remember when exactly I got them. The old hearing aids, I had to wear a specific thing around my neck to be able to stream from my phone. But these new hearing aids are Bluetooth, so I can stream phone calls, I can stream music without having to use earbuds and things like that directly to my phone. And during the Zoom call, I was having technical difficulties because these hearing aids are so sensitive that if I even slightly brush them, it sets something off in them and it shuts my camera off on my phone. And I was using my phone as the flat lay video for the Zoom call. Well, that got me so flustered. I ended up having to take my hearing aids out and putting them on a table far away so I wouldn't even accidentally touch them. I forgot to hit the record button. So there is no replay. So in the group for Utsalati Point, I do have links to those videos that I talked about in the Zoom, that page that I showed you on the pattern help page. And I added the video for the double crochet foundation purposely so that those of you who had trouble or needed a review could do that. And Linda, if there's anything or anybody else here who's doing the Crochet Along with me, I figured out how to do it for next week that I won't have to worry about my hearing aids. So I will record next week, I promise. And you guys remind me, if those of you who are doing the Crochet Along, remind me that I need to record. So I hit that record button and you all should be able to see at the top of the screen, it should say recording. So if you don't see that recording up there, ask me. So there you go. Colleen, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I appreciate the prayers. I'm feeling pretty good, but you know, it's nerve-wracking because it's the unknown, but thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. What time is my appointment? My appointment, I believe, is 9 a.m. Pacific. So let me look. I have it on my calendar. Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific. So that's when I'll go. And then on Wednesday during the Zoom, I'll let you guys know what's going to be happening. Thank you, Renee, for praying for me. I appreciate it. You guys have no idea how much the prayers mean for me. Sorry, I had the 18. Need a new mama. Okay, yeah, check that out. I have the videos there. And actually, the video that I have on that page that shows you the color changing is probably better than what I did that night. So you'll have a better close-up then, because my camera was just not being, my phone was not being, it wasn't behaving. So anyway, okay. And so now I know why I miraculously got internet on Monday night. The man said I shouldn't have any internet because the modem was dead. Oh, wow. Your modem was dead. So everything's working now. So you haven't been going on and off. That's good. That's awesome, actually. Okay. So I am going to, okay. So let's talk about my projects now that I've gotten all that out of the way. You guys, I saw this last week, but if you are following me on social media, on Instagram, Friday night or Saturday night, I think it might have been. Oh no, it was Sunday. I showed a big ball of yarn. It's actually gotten smaller since then. I had to rip 121 rows because I made a mistake on row 18 that I didn't catch until it was 121 rows later. And it didn't affect the pattern until I got there. And I couldn't figure out why my counts were wrong, why everything looked funny at that point. And it was because of a small mistake where I added a stitch on row 18 and I had to remove that. So this hasn't gotten much farther than what you saw last week, but I'm almost there. This should be done before the end of the week. I was hoping by today so I could start my next project, but that didn't happen. So, so I wanted to show you guys that I'm still working on that. Colleen says the Zoom was fun. I love doing Zooms with my crochet alongs. I'm thinking what I'm going to try to do. I'm still working out the planning for 2022, but I want to do at least 2, if not 3 crochet alongs. One of them being a mystery crochet along in 2022. 2 will be, I'll show you the pattern, that kind of thing. And 1 will be a mystery. I just have to plan for it. And now that, I'm pretty much an empty nester and my time is my own, I can figure all that out now. I don't have to worry about it. But I wanted to show you guys too, I am working on the crochet along. I haven't actually picked it up since Monday night because I really do need to get that shawl done. But in the meantime, this is the start of the Utsalati Point crochet along. This is all I completed on video last night or Monday night. But I'm using the Noro yarn. This is color number 24, which is cranberry. And this is color 19, which I believe is gold. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. 19 is chartreuse. It's chartreuse. Okay. So, but I wanted to give you guys the link for that, for the Noro Sonata. So you can take a look at that if you're interested in seeing with the yarn I'm using and all the colors that comes in. I no longer am accepting registrations for the crochet along right now because of my website being so slow. And we're going to talk about that for a second. Oh, and I should also show you the link for the yarn for the shawl that I had to rip out. This is Sweet Mountain Crafts. It's her Scree sock yarn in the color At the Morn. So if you're interested in that yarn too. But with the Noro, unfortunately, I can't add more people to the crochet along right now because my site is crawling right now. For those of you, I know Kelly noticed that last week. I mentioned it last week, but it's gotten worse since last week. So there is a very good chance, guys, that I am going to, I'm talking to the new people that are hosting, that are going to be hosting my site. And they basically have told me that if I want to move this weekend, I can sign up for the hosting and then they will start on it right away so that by Monday, I'm hoping before the weekend, but by Monday, it'll be all hosted on the new site and things will speed up a little bit. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's as I mentioned in my Zoom call, this company used to be one of the #1 hosting companies for WordPress. And over the years, I've had them now for 4 years and they have just gotten worse. Their customer service has gotten worse. Things have slowed down and my site is active enough, even though I just completely redid my site and just got it up, a month and a half ago before the wedding. They, even with it stripped down, with only the addition of the groups, it has slowed down so much. And I don't even have half the things that I had on the original site that was on this website. So yeah, it's time to leave them. So I apologize if you go to my site right now and it's really slow. And for those of you who are doing the crochet along, I will let you know when the site's going to go down. And then I will let you guys know right away when it comes back up. Just so you guys know, if I decide to do it this week, I'm still trying to figure out if this is the best time since we're just starting the crochet along, or if I should just wait until October and do it. So there you go. But it's driving me absolutely batty. Just so you guys know, it's okay. Let's see. I got a couple comments here. Stephanie, I love your color changing method. I love it too. It's the only way to really change colors when you're working in the middle of a row and you don't want to have to cut. And I think it works well. Somebody mentioned in the Zoom call that it's the same technique that many of the corner to corner people use. I don't do a lot of corner to corner with color changes. That's not something that I'm interested in, I guess, is really what it is. I'm more of I like to do traditional crochet and finer yarns. I like to do garments and things like that. I will do home decor once in a while, things like that. But corner to corner with color changes is not my thing at all. Those of you who know me know that I'm for the lightweight yarns and the lace and the things like that. So I didn't realize that someone else was doing that. I thought it was something I had started doing because I'd never seen it before. And I was playing with color changing. So anyway, I love it too. And it works a lot. I hate when that happens. I was binding off a shawl with, I missed something at the beginning of bind off. Yes, I know. Oh, bind off too. I mean, that I'm assuming you're saying knitting. And knitting's even worse than crochet when you have to rip it out. So, yuck. I can tell you how many times that's happened to me. Yep, me too. For some reason, I'm unable to join okay, Colleen, I will, after this Zoom, I will shoot you an email with the link and I will get you figured out why you can't join. I will see if I can, is the email, well, it would have to be because you purchased the registration on my site. I'll use the email that you purchased the registration with, and I will send you an invite to join the group, and that should change things for you. But I'll remind me before I sign off that I need to do that. Or somebody, if Colleen's not here when I sign off, remind me that I need to send Colleen the invite to join the group. And if anybody else is having trouble joining the group, let me know. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys too, if you haven't filled out my planning survey, there's the link one more time. I am still taking responses to my survey. I will until Monday night. Monday night, I'm going to shut it off. I'm still not getting a whole lot of people, so my newsletter is going to have the link in it one more time, asking people to please take it. And then Monday night, I'm going to shut it off. But I am getting a lot of good responses. And one of the things I'm getting responses on is the podcast thing again. People don't understand what podcasts are. So I'm going to do a little blurb in my newsletter this time around. And you'll notice I have a little bit different format this week for my newsletter because I am getting so many questions about what is a podcast? How do you find a podcast? All that stuff. It's bizarre how many people have never even understood what a podcast was. And I know we talked about it last week, but so just so you guys know, I'm going to have a little thing in there about what podcasts are so that people can go back to their answers if they want to, or if they want to retake the survey, they can, and just let me know you're retaking the survey. So that I can, skew the responses correctly. Anyway, but yeah, that's a really big question for people. And the other thing that I've really noticed is that the majority of my customers who are on my newsletter follow me on Facebook. They don't follow me on Instagram, which is my favorite social media platform. Very few follow me on YouTube, and almost nobody follows me on Rumble, which is interesting. So it's very interesting how that has changed the way I'm looking at how I'm doing things a little bit. That's why you're seeing me a little more active on Facebook, because right now I want to try to um, get more engagement on Facebook, because it seems like that's where everybody is. And it's really interesting too, because the majority of my followers are also worsted weight people. And again, you guys know I am the fingering weight girl. So I'm not sure why these people are following me. I don't know. If anybody's here who answered that question, because it's completely anonymous. If you haven't done my survey, it's completely anonymous. I have no idea who is answering my questions, who is giving me comments, nothing. I can't even see an IP address. So I can't even guess who it might be. So, if you are one of the worsted weight people and are willing to respond to me, what is it about my patterns that are in the lighter weight yarns that make you become a follower of mine? Is it because my patterns are easily adaptable to worsted weight? Because most of them, at least the ones that have been coming out lately, I would not adapt them to worsted, but I'm curious. I'm really, 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 really curious on why it is you like my patterns, or like what it is that I'm doing. So, okay. So, there is Marianne. Good morning, Marianne. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you popped in. And I think so. Yes, I did see that. Was just going to put that person in. I just blocked that person. Yes. Marianne likes the fingering weight. Good. So Kelly, I see you like the heavier yarns. What is it about my patterns though, that since I'm more on the lightweight side, what is it about my patterns that you like, or why you follow me, that kind of thing? I'm curious. It's just seriously a curiosity thing. Oh, yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I will, after this live, Colleen, I will definitely add you to the group. Awesome. Okay. But you knit more and like garments more. You do like the socks though. Okay. Gotcha. I am going to be doing a few more socks, hopefully in the future. I have a couple patterns. Oops. I didn't realize I didn't take that banner off. Okay. There we go. I'm still getting used to the software that I'm using. I tend to go in spurts with socks, with specially crochet socks. They'll be like right now, football season has hit. And I am a football season sock knitter, because if I knit anything else or crochet anything else while I'm watching football, except for baby hats, I can do baby hats, everything gets really tight because I'm stressed and I want my team to win. And so socks, I tend to knit tightly anyway, or crochet tightly anyway. So I can do those without having a problem. So you guys will probably see more socks coming out of me when I just show you finished projects and things like that. In the near future. But I also, one of the things I'm doing right now is I am going through, and this was at the advice of some other some other fiber artists out there, and crafters that I'm in a group with. They recommended that I go through my old patterns that haven't seen the light of day in at least 10 years. And so I am going through and I'm going to revamp a couple of my sock patterns that haven't seen the light of day in, I'm going to say at least 7 years that I can think of. In fact, I even have yarn for one of them that I was planning to revamp a few years ago and just never got around to it. So I'm going to do that. And unfortunately, it's a yarn that's from an indie dyer that still dyed and still dyes that colorway. So I'm going to go ahead and redo that. But one of the other things I should mention is I found a folder on my website. Well, I knew I had the folder there, but I had to go searching for it, of patterns that I released starting in 1998 when I first started designing, and I wasn't the patterns that I didn't sell to magazines. I would release on my blog at the time, and I would sell hard copies. And then when things started going digital, I just never I never revamped them for PDF. And so they've been sitting in this folder, and I probably have 200 patterns there that I haven't seen the light of day probably since the early 2000s. I know the one that I'm looking at right now probably has not seen the light of day since 2000. So next week I'm going to be working on one of these patterns. And for those of you who like worsted weight, it is a worsted weight pattern. It's a quickie pattern, and it's a fall season pattern. And so what I've decided I'm going to do is I have a how-to section on my website. I should actually, let me share that with you really quick. Hang on. Okay. So if you go over here to resources, I have how-to. I don't know if you guys can see that right now. I'm not looking at my screen. Oh yeah, you guys can see that. Okay, so I have this how-to, and right now there's things like learn the foundation crochet, my favorite way to change colors. These are all how-to type of posts. But what I'm going to do starting next week is I am going to be revamping this pattern, and you guys can crochet along with me if you want to. I won't be posting the actual pattern, but I'll be doing some video. I'll be doing some posts on, with pictures, things like that will allow you to see what I'm doing. But it will eventually be released as a full length pattern. It'll be a free pattern. But I thought it would be kind of fun to create this, a series of blog posts. It'll probably only be like 3. The first one will be showing you all of the materials you'll need. The second one will be getting started, and the third one will be finishing it off. Things like that. So over the next year or so, I'm going to be revamping a lot of patterns this way. And I am going to be doing them either, I can do them live stream. I can do them pre-recorded and post as blog posts, other things like that. But if you're interested in that, check my blog on Tuesday. If you're not already subscribed to my how-to blog, I don't have a landing page right now for it, but check it out. There is a way you can subscribe to it. And I might actually put it in my newsletter. So if you're a newsletter subscriber, you'll see it. But I'm really excited. The yarn, I had to order the yarn online, so it's supposed to be here on Friday. So I'll be able to get the first post up by Tuesday, no problem. But I'm really excited about it because there are some of these patterns that some of the reasons why they haven't been re-released in PDF too is because they were so dated, or the yarn, like this particular pattern, the yarn I used was no longer available. And even though I could get something similar, I just didn't take the time to do it. I had so much work with magazines and my own patterns and things like that. I just didn't do that. So, but now that my kids are out of the house and I have a little bit more time, I can do, one-off patterns like this, maybe once a month or once every other month, and do something. I do have one that is probably going to happen for Christmas. So be watching for that. I also have a one rare repeat pattern that I haven't done in a long time that I'm going to be doing as well. And that one's going to be on video. So be watching for that. So those are the kind of things I'm going to be doing coming up in the future. A lot of the old patterns that I'm going to be revamping are worsted weight. Some of them I might, especially garments, because I have a lot of garment patterns that I did for magazines. The rights have reverted back to me, and you can't even get them anymore because these magazines have gone out of business. I'm going to redesign them in probably somewhere between fingering and DK, just because worsted makes you look like the Marshmallow Man. So, especially with some of these designs. So I'm going to redo them and get them re-released. And I have several patterns that I have been told by Karen Yarns, which is owned now by Yarn Inspirations. I have several patterns that I did for Karen Yarns years ago that they no longer have on their site, but they are keeping the rights, but I can offer them to you as free patterns. So I might be able to rework a couple of those in different yarns from Yarn Inspirations and offer those up as well as free patterns to you guys. So just be watching for stuff like that. There's nothing I can do about with the Yarn Inspiration patterns. I can't reformat them or anything because they own them, but I can offer them to you. So we will see what I end up doing with those. So anyway, those are a few things that are happening behind the scenes. This week has pretty much been focused on the crochet along and redoing that shawl that I had to rip out. So I haven't done much else, but there will be more things happening. And again, like I said, if I do take down the website to move it, it will be, I will let everybody know. So anybody have any questions for me? I've still got about 20 minutes for the stream. So if you guys have something you want to talk about, or if you like heavier yarns, tell me why, or what is it about my patterns that has intrigued you, and why don't you like fingering weight? Just that's a question I have, is what is it about fingering weight that how do I even explain it? What is it? I know a lot of people are afraid of the finer weights because it's so small, but there's ways around that. And I can teach things about that, but I'm curious about those kinds of things. Marianne says, thank you for demonstrating color changes. You enjoyed the crochet along. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it too. I'm going to be working on mine a little bit over the weekend to try to get to a certain point so that next week I can teach, what's happening next. So, and I hope you guys are working, those of you that are working on it, know what's, are going to be able to get to, either complete it, because I know a lot of you were working on it and they were getting really far. And, what am I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. I know it's an easy pattern for some of you, but the color changes were kind of an interesting thing. And a lot of you are advanced enough in crochet that you know how to do the next steps. Because right now we're increasing to make one side of the shawl, then there's the working even, and then you're decreasing. And if you've done enough of my patterns, you know how to do that. You know what to expect in my patterns, I should say. But if not, I'm going to hopefully show me where you're at, and you can ask me questions if you need help with that. Okay, so Brat's mom says, just received my Halloween box from Forbidden Fiber, and there was candy inside. That's cool. Oh, I didn't realize she had already shipped those. I'm going to have to connect with her and talk to her about that. Okay, because I didn't know she did that. Awesome. Stephanie says, I'd like to know how much yarn to get, especially since the North Crawl is going on through Sunday. Are you talking about for my my testing, my pattern testing? I am going to be working on those this afternoon. It's been a week. I mean, like I said before, I have been exhausted. And yesterday and Monday, I was on Zoom calls pretty much all day long. So I am definitely going to get those up and running. I don't have numbers for you right now, but I will hopefully by this afternoon. I should have 3 of them ready to go. And I'm going to get them up and running. Let's see. I have tons of sock weight, but I never buy more than 1 or 2 skeins at a time, which doesn't give me many options to make something. Yes. That's why I've been doing a lot of 2 skein, 1 skein projects with fingering weight lately, like my hat patterns and my some of my shawls are 2 skein or 2 hanks, things like that. So or you could do, if you have a ton of sock weight, you could, you know, if they all are within the same weight, my Queen of Hearts shawl, you can use like 4 or 5 different colors and make it work with the Queen of Hearts shawl, or even just 3. I think I used 4 in the one that I did for Lamb Shop Knits. But those are different things. Just find, you know, color combinations that you like and work on a fingering weight sweater or shawl or something like that. Let's see. Pat says, I'm on the decreases on the crochet along. Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to see because I know you're so fast. You're probably going to have a couple done at least by the end. So, and you've changed your color, so you need to begin again. Okay, Marianne. A lot of people do that. It's funny how crochet alongs, you think you're going to do one thing, and then when you start working it, you decide to change your colors. That happens so often. I can't even tell you. It happens to me when I'm designing. I think it's going to look great in this one color, and then it's like, no, I got to change it. And I find different yarn or different color in that same yarn. Colleen, I like all weights for the crochet along, using some stash and using DK. My favorite non-crochet is fingering and sock weight for knitting. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, fingering in is mine for knitting and crochet. It's just something that I love to do. Yeah, Patricia is fast, Colleen. She's super fast. Oh, okay. And a lot of people do that. Yeah, a lot of people, Marianne, use totally different colors, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just decide that I like it better, and so that's great though that you knew that right off the bat. I learned crochet years ago by making doilies, so I definitely more in tune with using lighter weight yarns. Yeah, and that's kind of where I am too, Renee. I learned from my Italian grandmother who taught me the basics with worsted weight, and then I started using crochet cotton and did Italian lace, edgings and doilies and all that kind of stuff. Even though I was working with other yarns worsted weight, you know, I was only 7 at the time, so I was making Afghans and clothes for my dolls and stuff with other yarns. But my background is pretty much thread. So yeah, I feel that. That's why I like the lightweight yarns. Yay, no real rush. Just before I go crawling again. Absolutely. I will get those up. And that is the goal for today. I do have a meeting. Oh, actually, today's Wednesday. Oh, I do have a meeting at 1, but other than that, I will be working on definitely getting those up. I may not get all of them up today. I may get like 1 or 2 up today and then the rest tomorrow, something like that. So Pat goes, I'm retired, so I have a lot of free time. Well, that'll do it for you too, but you're still fast. I think you're still fast. So, and Kelly says, I struggle with the look of crochet garments. My issue, it's not your patterns. It's me, not you. Okay. That's why I'm trying to do, I have a cardigan coming out in January. It'll be out January 25th that I did in fingering weight, and it's lace. And I'm trying to, the problem I'm having with crochet garments right now that are being, especially on the free pattern blogs and, you know, I just don't like the heavier weight yarns for sweaters in crochet. There's just, I just don't. And I think that's a piece of my grandmother in me, because my grandmother always was, she liked the finer things in crochet. She always said that crochet does laces and, you know, working with smaller yarns was so much more delicate looking, and where those worsted weight garments that sure, they are fast to make, and you know, some of them are wearable, but to me, they look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't know how else to describe it. And so even children's clothing, I won't make them in worsted weight. I will only use fingering or sock yarn for those. So I understand the issue, because I have that issue too. Do you have any of those Italian lace patterns available? I have 2 of your books. I should look. Actually, I don't know if you have my Modern Italian Lace Crochet book, but my Modern Italian Lace Crochet book has stitch patterns from my grandmother's, from stitches I learned from my grandmother from Italy. And there's garments, there's hat in there, there's shawls. I have a cardigan in there. I have a tunic in there, and I have, I'm trying to think, there's 3 garments, a cardigan, a tunic. I can't remember what the third one is. I want to say a pullover, but I can't remember what it looks like right now. Oh, it's the cover photo. It's a pullover sweater that's all lace with a little bit of a turtleneck on it and 3/4 inch sleeves. That you wear like either a tank or cami, or during the winter you could put like a turtleneck underneath it, or a long sleeve shirt underneath it if you wanted. But Modern Italian Lace is where you're going to see some of my lace patterns. I have more that'll be coming. Oh, next month I'm going to be releasing a shawl that I did for the slow crawl here in the Pacific Northwest, and that's one of the lace patterns that I have in one of those Italian lace books. I'm trying to think if anything's coming out next year that's using any of those Italian lace patterns. Not at the moment, no. But I had so much fun doing Modern Italian Lace Crochet that I'm going to be using more of those patterns that I got from my grandmother from Italy. And then I do have, what's really interesting is I have 2 boxes of crocheted items. One that has some of my grandmother's crocheted items, but it has patterns in there too, as well as a box from my dad's aunt, who is a crocheter. And she has some cool patterns that I want to deconstruct. I'm not going to rip them out, but I'm going to deconstruct what she did to make these patterns. So you might see some old Italian patterns made new in the future. I just have to sit down with them, and it's going to take some planning for me to do that right now, but I am planning to do that. Let's see. I have seen a few I liked, and they included colorwork crochet. Also, heavier yarn in crochet feels 1970s to me anyways. Yes. Yes. I'm actually going to be working on a class that I want to offer next year. I'll probably be starting to work on it this year, just kind of fleshing it out. But I teach a class called Top-Down Sweaters Crochet Style, and it's based on the raglan style sweater. And I want to teach that class online, but I also want to convert that class also into a colorwork yoke style sweater instead of a raglan style sweater. So like the knit sweaters that you start at the neckline and they're circular, and you just make the circular yoke, and then you do the body, and then you divide for the sleeves, and then make the body, and then add the sleeves later. So I'm trying to figure out how to make both of these classes work online, because with the way the climate is right now in the world, I don't see myself, especially with cancer treatments, teaching at any live events any time in the near future. So I'm trying to get more online. So I'm working on those, and there's going to be a few other classes besides the sweaters that I'm going to be doing. But that's definitely something that I want to get going for next year. There is a tank in Coastal Crochet. Yes, everybody loves that tank, and everybody loves the pullover in there, the waffle knit, the waffle stitch pullover. That sweater, I can't tell you how many people have sent me pictures. They've even made it for their husbands, because their husbands love it. Okay, Renee's asking me which book, and let me grab my books and I'll just show them all to you. I have them all here. Okay, where's Coastal? I'm missing one, guys. Hang on. Odd. Okay. Okay, so If you're looking at for modern Italian lace crochet, that's modern Italian lace crochet. That's the cover photo I was talking about that I couldn't remember. So it's kind of lace. Oh, it's a little shorter sleeve than 3/4. But that's that one. But I'll show you. Here's one of the garments. This is a tunic that also you would probably want to wear a cami underneath. And so just for the garments, I'm going to show you. There. And here is the sweater. It's got Italian lace down here at the bottom. It's mostly double crochet, 3/4 inch sleeves with just like a 3 or 4 inch lace panel at the very bottom. So that's my Italian lace crochet. In fact, it's really cool because at the beginning, that's my nonna that taught me to crochet. It's hers. Over here is her as a baby. This is her passport when she went back to Italy in 1960, before I was born. And then I have pictures of, this is a bedspread she made in, she started it in 1928 when she left, and then she left Italy in 1929 in the early months of the year, and she had it finished when she arrived in America in May 29th, 1929. And I now have this bedspread. But that's her handwritten note that was inside, so that my mom and my aunt knew when that was made. So, and this is the very first project she had me make. So I still have that. It's actually in my stash closet. So, and then here's me and my grandparents before my wedding and on the day of my wedding. So I have the whole story of how I learned to crochet in here and what she taught me, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in this book, it's on my website. I have a lot in print. So if you want a print copy, you always get a free digital copy when you buy the print, or you can buy just the digital copy. So that's that one. So is that the one you were looking for, Renee? I'm assuming that's one. Coastal, for some reason, I cannot find it. I thought I had a copy of it out here, but it might be in somewhere else in my bookcase that I just am not seeing it. Let me go grab one out of my closet. Okay, this is Coastal. This is Coastal Crochet. That's the tank top Kelly was talking about. That's called Storm. Hang on. There's a better picture of Storm. I have all the samples too, but they're up in a box. Otherwise, I'd show it to you. Well, here's the front of Storm. That's the tank top. It's done in a cable stitch. It's actually a lot simpler than it looks. And then in this one, I also have beachside. Oh, beachcomber, sorry, not beachside. This is the pullover that everybody makes for themselves or their husband. In fact, I have one follower who's made like 3 or 4 of them. Here's the sleeves on beachcomber. Here's the back. It's very versatile. And then I'm pretty sure there's a couple more. So if you're looking for garments, I use the beachcomber's made in lace weight, believe it or not. And Mist is another cardigan. It's worked side to side in it's 3 rectangles. The main body's 1 rectangle, and then the 2 sleeves are rectangles. Here's another sweater, Coastline. It's more like a swancho. It's like a poncho with sleeves. It's circular. Coastline is another favorite of people. It's very wearable, and it's no shaping other than making it larger. So that's Coastal. And then the other book that I have that has garments in it is Pineapple Passion, and everything in here is made with pineapples of some sort. So I have this cardigan, if you're partial to cardigans, is Pineapple Cardi. That's actually one of my most favorite designs ever that I've done. They don't have a picture. I don't have a picture of it closed, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool pattern in there. I also have a tunic that is very popular when I'm at live events. When I put it on the dressmaker dummy, everybody just loves it. That's the tunic. And then there is a skirt in there also that, here's the bottom of the skirt. It's just a plain stitch on the body and then the skirt. So if you're looking for cardigans, those are the things I would talk about. Okay. The shocking cover. Yes. Modern Italian lace crochet. This is the one that Amazon would not allow me to do an ad for because they said it was too provocative or pornographic. Yes. My girls were about 6 or 7 years old. I crocheted dresses, sweaters, and a hat. It's in worsted weight yarn. Yeah, Northern Colorado and Connecticut, I can see where heavier weight yarns, and especially when they're in, the 70s and 80s, it was big, and 90s even, to use a lot of worsted weight. But I'm finding that I never liked the look of them. So that's why I always use the finer yarns. No live events. Yep. A stitch to fit crochet. That's how I teach my top-down sweaters. So if I teach that class or do a crochet along with that, we can, it will definitely be stitching to fit you because I have you take measurements of your own body to make your sweater. So that would be awesome to do that. I'm partial to the cardigan for unknown reason. Yes, I remember you made it. I love that cardigan. Marianne has Coastal. Yes, I remember shipping that to you. And Renee says, I need that book. I'm not sure which book you're talking about, but if it's this one, or any of them, whatever you want to get, let me know. They're all on my website right now. I don't have a whole lot of Coastal in stock right now. I think I have like 11 books left in Coastal, or probably less than that now. So order that soon because I'm not sure if I'm going to be ordering any more prints. You'll be able to get it in print on Amazon, but I'm not sure. Me too, when you place an order. The cardigan in Coastal. I love the cardigan in Coastal. Yeah, that's done in lace also. It's done in, the one I made is made with the Anzula Milky Way yarn. That's a fabulous yarn, but I love that. Colleen, I do have Pineapple Passion, Garden of Shawls. Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen Garden of Shawls, this is all shawls, but that's a Garden of Shawls. That's what the first self-published book I did way back in 2016. But prior to that, this one came out in 2012. This is Crochet Rock Socks. I also have some of these in stock. These I can no longer get in print. So what I have in stock, once it's gone, it's gone. You'll only be able to get it digitally. So there you go. Yes, I know Amazon can be crazy. I don't, I look at what I want to look at and I ignore everything else they do. So, it's Amazon has to be a place for me to sell my books because I get the biggest audience there as far as my books are concerned. Garden of Shawls, I can't keep that in stock there. It sells and sells and sells. Garden of Shawls is probably my best-selling book right now. So, Yeah. So what I can tell you about this book too, the sock book, you'll always be able to get it on digital on my website, but on Amazon, you will be able to get it in print and in digital format, because it's something weird with Amazon that they won't let me convert it, the print version, to their new printing press thing. So that's why I'm saying I can no longer buy it in print, but you can get it from them in print. It's something when they converted from CreateSpace to Kindle, Kindle KDP, whatever, digital printing or something like that. If for some reason the format won't let me convert it, so they'll still print it through CreateSpace, even though they don't really offer CreateSpace anymore. So once my stock is gone, it's gone. You won't be able to get it from me anymore. You have some Purple Rain yarn from 3 Irish Girls Abbey, Purple Rain socks. I love my Purple Rain socks. If you like crocheting socks, this is a great book. They're all based on rock and roll songs. So I have, let's see, I have Blue Suede Shoes from Elvis. I have Born in the USA socks. I have the Deadheads for Grateful Dead. Bad Name for Bon Jovi, who everybody should know is my favorite. Here's the Bon Jovi. Can't figure out how to do this on the screen. It was really cool is that the photographers are friends of mine. If you know the Sheba guys, they're the ones who helped me with this book. And they taught the model, who was in her teens at the time. She didn't know half these songs. I mean, Brown Sugar from the Rolling Stones. How many people don't know Brown Sugar from the Rolling Stones? This is We Are the Champions from Queen. They made her watch all the videos, the music videos for these songs, so that when she wore the socks and she was dressed in the theme of the socks, she could, take on the persona of the band or the singers. So it was really so, like, this is the iconic Freddie Mercury for Queen picture. So yeah, that was a fun book to produce. So if you know the Sheba guys, Shannon Mullet-Bowlesby and Jason Mullet-Bowlesby, they haven't been doing a whole lot in the crochet industry lately. They've been doing a lot of, oh gosh, that's that embroidery, Shishimu, something like that. They've been doing a lot with that lately. But yeah, Shannon is a great crochet designer. So, and they live here in Washington State. And I used to live, like 20 minutes from them. So there you go. Yep, that was Shannon. Yep, the Sheba guys, yes. Yes, the Japanese embroidery. Yep. That's the one that they've been doing a lot of lately, but they do have a lot of crochet books. And I just realized it's almost 10 after 10. And so it's time for me to go, but you guys, if you have questions, keep posting them. But let me go through my closing remarks and then I'll come back to the comments here in just a second. For those of you who are watching after the fact, thank you for getting this far. I appreciate you watching my videos. Make sure you check out my website at KarenHooley.com. You'll find out everything there is to know about Karen Whooley Designs. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. This link right here is the direct link to the subscribe form, although you can find the subscribe form at the bottom of every single page on the website. You can also, if you're not watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that thumbs up so that people will see it. The algorithm will show it to more people who are interested in crochet. And if you're watching this either on Facebook or on YouTube, you might want to check out my Rumble channel also. I always upload these to Rumble. Rumble has my biggest audience as far as video is concerned, so make sure you check out Rumble as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Karen Whooley. And if you're not watching this on Facebook, you can follow me also on Facebook at Karen Whooley Official. And I live stream simultaneously to Facebook and to YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to check the comments here really quick. You're welcome, Colleen. I'm glad you were able to join me today. I really enjoy talking to my my customers, my friends out live on YouTube. So hope you can join us again. soon. And Renee, great live stream. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked it and enjoyed our visit. It's like a virtual cup of coffee or tea with friends. I feel the same way. I mean, I have my coffee here. I haven't drank much of it yet today, but I have my coffee here. And that's kind of what I do on Wednesday mornings is have coffee with you guys and just chat about crochet and what's going on around here in the studio. One of the things I'm hoping to do in the near future, now that the wedding's over, is to clean some of the wedding stuff out of here, which I haven't done yet. And then I'll give you guys a live virtual tour of my studio. So it's almost completely done. I have one more thing I want to get up on the wall, and I have to order the yarn to do it. And then I will do a virtual tour for you guys. Marianne says, fingers crossed to see you next week. I'll be here next week, regardless of what the results are, unless they're really devastating. But I will definitely let you know next week what the results of my scan or my scope on Tuesday is. So thanks guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. You guys are the best part of my week. I can't even begin to tell you. So I appreciate you coming to watch, and I hope that I will see you next week. And if you're watching the recorded version, I will see you next week. Also, hopefully you'll be able to join me live. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great week. Bye, y'all.